What's up, goats?
That?
Okay, hold on. Redo it. Yo. You guys trying to put a bike on the back of your van? I was too. And now I can, because I did the research. You want to live out of your van and you want to be a traveling, you know, genie or whatever the hell you want to be. Because me too, that's what I wanted to do. And look at me now, living out of the van. I'll tell you something though. If you want to bring your little 4-stroke behind with you, there's a couple of things you got to know. This thing is kind of heavy, okay? It's probably, I don't know, 300 pounds. You got to get a bike hitch carrier. There's a bunch of different brands around, and a lot of them suck. Scenario that I've come up with, and actually I didn't even come up with it. A little guy called DrifterJourneys came up with it on YouTube. But all I wanted to say differently pretty much was that my bike is a little different. It's a little kind of taller and heavier. It's probably 300 pounds. So let's get right into the meat of things here. First of all, this is your Mototote. Now this thing's kind of expensive. It's like $500. I had a Harbor Freight one before this, and it was a giant piece of shit. No, the Harbor Freight one's all right if you're entry level and you're just trying to get something cheap, which is exactly what I did. It was like 150 bucks, a Harbor Freight. I just wanted to get something so I could slam it on the back of the van and you know, use the bike. So the first iteration was to Harbor Freight, bought that thing and slammed it in the hitch. It worked out fine. We got the bike to where it needed to go, and everything was fine except for it was just a pain in the ass to use. It's like, okay, if I'm gonna travel with this, I wanna make sure I get something a little easier to use, a little bit better quality, you know, be able to let me open the back doors, which is one of my main problems, and I'll get to that in just a second. Get down to the brass tacks here. This is the Mototote. This is a great motorcycle carrier. I love it. Let me tell you the reasons why. First of all is because of this thing right here, the chuck for the front wheel. Having that on there makes the bike so much more stable and so much easier to load and unload. It also has this ramp that is so nice. I mean, the Harbor Freight ramp was probably a little over half this size. So something that's half this size and you're using it as a ramp, look at the difference of the angle that you're trying to get up. And it's just a pain. So this nice long ramp, you get this really beautiful long gradual angle. I think that there's not a lot of information about carrying your dirt bike on a hitch with a swing out. If I'm being honest, I think that this particular swing out isn't necessarily rated for this much of a heavy bike. So far it's worked out pretty good. I mean, we've probably logged, I don't know, maybe 2,000 miles on it. Take this pin out, take this off like this, and you can slide this sucker out. So you can open the back doors. You can get plenty of access. So that's all great, right? And like I said, with that long ramp, the thing comes up here so nicely, especially compared to that Harbor Freight one. Now, I'm not trying to hate on Harbor Freight because Harbor Freight has really pulled my ass right out of it. So Harbor Freight is a really great place, and I will always support Harbor Freight. So anyway, now look at this. The bike's sitting up on its own. That never happened in a million years on the other bike rack. This gives me the you know, extra hand I need to be able to get my straps ready here. And what I'll do is come down here and go like this when I'm going to take it somewhere, and it's super tight on there. So there you have it. The bike's on there now, right? Looks good. Doesn't look too crazy or anything wonky. Right in here. Nice little spot for it. So take out the pin, and then you're gonna kind of pop this guy out. Come back here and I kind of lift up a little bit on this whole bike, right? I lift it up and I slide it out. And there you have it. Now let me talk about the things that I've done to try and ensure that. Obviously I'm super careful about, like, you know, I'm not going over a bunch of crazy bumps and doing a bunch of crazy stuff. Like I said, I bought this off Facebook Marketplace, so this was already used. He said it was brand new, but it looked in really good shape, so maybe it was used, maybe it was brand new, I don't know. But it had been sitting outside nonetheless, so I actually replaced all my bolts They were all kind of look like this one here, which has, you know, just some surface rust on it. But I ended up replacing most of them except for that one with some new grade 8 bolts. In any case, you can see here that there's a slight bend to it, but it's pretty sturdy nonetheless. When you're putting it back, again, you got to kind of lift up on it because there's a lot of weight, and I kind of swing it in and slide it on there. This is another upgrade I did, is I went to AutoZone and I got a truck tail light LED strip. I also put a cover on top of this just to protect it even more. So once the cover's on here, you can't really see the turn signals or brake lights. This is a truck tailgate LED strip, and it works wonderfully. It just plugs into your 4-prong trailer hitch, and off you go. So the thing has worked really well. Mototote is, I think, a great company. Their stuff's kind of expensive, you know, if you buy it new. I ended up, like I said, finding a really good deal on this, so that was really lucky. RackAttach by RackAttach, I'm sorry, by OneUp, seems to make really solid stuff. It's all made in America too, like really good quality equipment. And they have a bunch more stuff on their website too. Also kind of expensive, but they also have a garage sale on their website where you can buy stuff that is lightly used or returned or something like that, and it's guaranteed to function properly. It might just have some scuffs and scrapes on it. That's the setup there. This is probably the heaviest bike I would put on there. I wouldn't put anything heavier than 300 pounds because I think that you would just really be pushing your luck. And I think that I could be pushing my luck, but hey, that's what I like doing, baby. Roll the dice.